Hello and welcome to Unfudge Your Marketing. This is a show where I chat with business owners and leaders about marketing mistakes, mishaps, and things that just didn't go quite as planned. But most importantly, we share the lessons learned for all of you. I am your host. I'm Christy Mitchell. I'm a marketing strategist, and I love working with mission-driven, client-centered service providers who have relied on referrals and word of mouth to build their businesses. And they know in order to grow for the future and have a bigger impact, they need to finally think more strategically about their marketing. Today, I am so excited to welcome Joanne Homestead to the show. Joanne is the CEO of Desk Plant Creatives and founder of Inbox to Impact program. She's an expert email copywriter, copy coach, and obsessed storyteller. With over 15 years of experience creating captivating and aligned messaging as a master teacher, she helps soulful entrepreneurs and coaches in wellness, well-being, and mindset to write open-worthy emails that get more engagement, clicks, and clients all through their 100% authentic writing voice. She's a mama of two little ones and loves a good cup of chai to fuel her creativity and passion for storytelling marketing. Hello, Joanne. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Christy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. And I always like to let our listeners know how I met my guests. So Mark Harbeck gets a shout out today for introducing us. I was so happy he thought to connect us. And once we started messaging back and forth, I thought, you know what? I think you should just come on the show and we can talk about common email marketing mistakes.
Yes, yeah. Thank you, Mark, for connecting us here.
Yes. So we were chatting a little bit before we came on today about some of the common marketing mistakes or email marketing specifically mistakes that you see your clients making. And I love the way that what you had said, because I'm a really big fan of authenticity and us like leaning into, what are those things that are important to us, even if it might turn some people away. We need to be authentic and aligned in all that we do in our own marketing. And I'm always, when I work with my clients, I'm all about finding what are the ways you want to show up, what feels good to you, and making sure that all of that feels very aligned and authentic. And so you had said one of the mistakes that you see a lot with email marketing is a fear of vulnerability. And
Mhm.
so I think this is such a juicy topic because so often business owners struggle with this, not just with email marketing, but like all of their marketing. Like, how much do I share? Is it too much? Is it not enough? So
Yeah.
where would you like to kick off this conversation today?
Oh, yes, yes. Where do we start with the fear of vulnerability? One is that it's one normal to feel nervous, a bit nervous about when you're showing up as yourself, especially as a personal brand, and you really want to the purpose of you showing up is so that you can really spotlight like who you are, what do you stand for, and like what's your magic sauce? Like how are
Hmm.
you different? And everyone is, because we're all human and we're all different. It's just finding what is that magic sauce. And so starting with the purpose of, okay, why am I showing up here in email marketing? Why am I going to write these emails? Like, always go back to your vision. Like, I want to be able to communicate how I work, what I do. And I think a good way to think of it is, for the words that you write in your emails, in your email newsletter, email campaign, email sequences, whatever you want to call them. Can people tell your personality from it? Can they
Hmm.
tell what you stand for? Can they tell what your values are from the words that you're writing? Can they
Yeah.
tell what you're thinking on like a weekly basis? Like, is there like kind of a live, time sensitive feel to your copy and your words? And
Hmm.
so when it comes to being vulnerable, I think a lot of people think, oh, well, okay, I have to share all this like in gory detail of whatever story they want to tell in their email. And then feeling like, oh, I don't know, I don't think, but I should, because I have to, because I need to be vulnerable. People tell me you got to be vulnerable. That's how we get the emotional connection. I think
Hmm.
that's one of the pieces is like, first of all, like, what does it mean to be vulnerable? And what you talked about, what does it mean to be authentic?
Hmm.
And for a lot of people, for a lot of entrepreneurs and personal brands, they're thinking, what do my people want to hear? What do I have to tell them to get them to buy my program or package or book
Hmm.
my services? Instead of coming from like that, what you said, that authentic space of like, what is it for me to share? What's coming from my heart? What is it for me to share? So I can write that, and then that is going to magnetize the people and resonate with the people they want to hear. Instead of going, what, thinking about like, what do they want to hear? It's kind of like I have two young kids, and they're thinking in their head like, what does mom want to hear from me right now? What is the right answer? And that's kind of what we get into as business owners when we're writing. We're thinking, what, it's almost like that. What does mom want to hear? What does she want to hear from me right now? What is the right answer to say? How much
Yes.
I have to like, I have to say, I have to be so vulnerable and say it all. But I don't
Hmm.
feel like that's what vulnerability is about. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's so many things I want to tease out from what you just shared. It's interesting to me because what you're saying is, business owners, we often were like, oh, what does our audience want to hear from us? And it's funny because just within the past few weeks, I presented to a business coaches community. She invited me in to present to her membership group on marketing planning and, teaching a strategy, a framework to build a strategic marketing plan. And it was so interesting because at the end, she asked me a question to the effect of like, well, you keep saying like it needs to be what the business owner wants to do, but like what about their audience and what the audience wants? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so interesting. I never really made that connection, but honestly, I'm a huge proponent of you have to show up in the ways that feel good to you. Yes, I push my clients outside their comfort zone a little bit here and there.
Mhm.
But I never tell people that they need to do something if they're like totally dreading it and they've tried it and they hated it, or like I'll say my piece, I'll give my recommendations, but we always find a happy medium. And I think that it's just I thought of that when you were talking because it's like we don't, yes, we need to meet those potential clients where they're at in terms of what are the problems that they're facing and how can we show them rather than tell them that we could be the answer to their problems and help them overcome this challenge. But really, I think that that's an area of alignment that you and I both have. It sounds like is that we as business owners need to start with ourselves. And what is it that we want to be sharing? That's what I'm hearing from what you're saying in terms of email marketing.
Yeah, definitely. And it is important to bring in like what it is your soulmate clients, your ideal clients are looking for from you, obviously, but it's a different way of thinking instead of like that what does mom or dad want to hear from me right now? What does the teacher want me to say? I'm going to say
Right.
exactly that versus like I intimately know who I'm talking to, so when I'm writing from the heart, I'm also including them into the conversation as well,
Yeah.
which is a very different feel than I'm going to try my best to manipulate my words
Right.
so that
Right.
it will say exactly what I think someone wants to hear. And so we kind of talked a little bit before starting recording of the when you have that fear of vulnerability and authenticity when it comes to writing, you tend to undershare or overshare. And I've seen both. Of oversharing would be you're sharing so many stories that you just kind of get lost in it, and it's almost too much. It's too much information or details. If you think about your emails being like creating a building a relationship with your
Hmm.
email community, if you just meet a new person for the first time, you're not going to go into great detail about what, I don't know,
Your
whatever.
personal health problems and
Yes,
what
your
you had
person,
for breakfast.
yeah, that hernia surgery that my husband had 6 months ago, and the recovery. You're gonna guide them. It's like a journey to develop that relationship. Same thing in emails. It's when you meet someone new, what are you going to share with them? Are you going to share these like very deep, very
Yes.
you know intimate details, or are you going to start off by sharing things that you feel comfortable with? And then so that's the oversharing, and then the undersharing is being afraid to share more of your stories, and that goes into the mindset piece of, oh, I don't, what if I get judged? Like, what if someone sees me in a way that I don't want to be seen? Or
Yeah.
what if no one cares? What if I put my story out there
Hmm.
and no one cares? That's just like too much. It's going to be too much for me to handle. I can't. I'm not going to share those kind of stories. So
Yeah.
there's both sides, and I know you talked a lot about like this balance piece. Like, what's find a happy medium, and what feels good to you. Like, I love the way you say that, because I talk a lot about that in email marketing too. What feels good to you? Let's
Yes.
start there.
Yes, so whenever I do my master class, and inevitably pretty much in all of my client conversations when we're talking about building their marketing plan and we get to email marketing, so many people are like, I hate email newsletters. I don't want to write an email newsletter. And I'm like,
Mhm.
okay, so don't write an email newsletter. Like if the idea of that is like so daunting to you and you're like, I don't want to do that. I don't read people's newsletters. Like, okay, then don't do an email newsletter. But you
Mhm.
still need to do some sort of email on a regular basis that's providing value to your audience. So it doesn't need to be a newsletter. It could
Mhm.
be you're just featuring the new blog that you put up on your website, and giving
Right.
people a call to action to go read the full thing. It
Yeah.
could be, hey, I was interviewed on this podcast and here you go, listen to the recording. Like something that is keeping in touch with them, because when I
Mhm.
talk about the email, the marketing, not email's a piece of it, but when I talk about the
Mhm.
marketing funnel framework, like the nurture section is the longest piece of the funnel. And that's where email marketing is immensely helpful to stay in
Mhm.
touch with people over time. So no, you don't have to do an email newsletter if you don't like that, but you do need to do something.
Yeah, and that is absolutely the number one thing that I hear when I talk about, like, yeah, I am a copywriter in I like to say, the fantastic world of emails. That's how it feels to me. It's like a
Love it.
magical place. It's my happy place. I love
I
emails.
love it.
I just love it. And the first thing that comes up is, I don't even read my emails. I hate the emails that I get. I all the stuff comes
Yes.
out. And I think what's really helpful actually is for people, and I do this every year, is clean out your email inbox. Clean it out, unsubscribe, just organize it so that it feels good when you go into your email inbox. Because if you can feel
Hmm.
good about going into your email inbox, you're going to feel a lot better when you go to email someone else. So all the mindset blocks don't come up of, oh,
Yeah.
I don't want to clutter people's inboxes. Because that's how you feel
Hmm.
about your inbox. Oh, I don't want to bother people. Why is that? Because there's something in your email inbox that's bothering you.
Oh
So
my God,
you
Joanne,
need
I
to take it
love
out.
the psychology behind it. I
Yeah.
love it. I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, and I'm like, you have full agency to unsubscribe and not feel like the other person's going to take it personally. Like, I tell people, like, if you can unsubscribe from my email community, I won't take it personally. It's actually helps me. Like, I have reframed the way that I've seen it too. When I get an unsubscribe, when I had cleaned out my email community at the beginning of this year, sorry, my email inbox, I cleaned it out.
Hmm.
I used filters. It's just so much more organized. I feel good about it. And I felt so like a weight had been lifted. I felt so
Hmm.
light. I felt so good. I was able to move forward with momentum. And so that's what I tell people is, like, when someone unsubscribes, they may be getting that same feeling of like, oh, okay, I feel like I can get that momentum going. And there's not these little pings in my inbox. And
Yeah.
it's not that I'm weighing them down because of my emails. It's just whatever circumstance they're in, it's just wasn't the right fit, which is fine. So that's what
Yeah.
I like to say about, because that comes up a lot. And I say,
Yeah.
clean out your email inbox. And when you feel good about that, you're going to feel a lot better about writing your emails.
I love that. I think that's such a great tip. And the other thing that I think about too when I hear you say that, and I thought about it earlier in the conversation when you were talking about something else, was so I remember when I was, in my own email marketing journey for my business, like I was consistently sending a monthly newsletter because I like that. I still do. I
Mhm.
send out, like, I do like a little blurb that says something about what's going on in my life right now, the seasons, whatever, something, that personal connection. And then I share like three things, whether it's blogs, podcasts, resources, masterclasses, whatever's going on. And then I share two things from other people outside my network. So I had been doing that consistently every month for a very long time. And then I finally took my advice that I give my clients, which is like, okay, now you need to up your game. Like you're doing it once a month, like you need to do more. And
Mm-hmm.
I kind of struggled with, it was easy when I was running a master class because I would just send an email about the master class, like, hey, register for this. Hey, here's a reminder. But I kind of struggled a little bit with like, what could those other emails be?
Mm-hmm.
And what I noticed, what I started to do was think about what are the emails that I love getting, that I
Mm-hmm.
really enjoy reading. And it was really like story based content. And I had this like light bulb moment. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm already posting these stories on LinkedIn that are getting awesome engagement. Like, why am I not using those same stories and putting them in email form? So now I've been doing that for a while and my
Yeah.
audience loves it. But I wanted to share that to kind of tee up a conversation about like helping us overcome those things that like hold us back from doing more email marketing.
Oh, absolutely. And that is part of my Inbox Impact program is that I like to call it it's holistic. It's not just we're going to work on upskilling your copywriting skills and your storytelling skills. It's not just strategy, it's also getting over those mindset and emotional blocks because I can give you all the skills and strategies. I can just I can give that to you and you will not get anywhere if you are blocked thinking like, oh, I don't want to bother people or oh,
Mm-hmm.
I write once a month. If I write twice a month, it's just no, I can't, like there's some mindset, emotional block there that we take a look at. And once you release it, then it's like, wow, okay, I feel good about being able to do this. And also being able to not take out huge chunks. I I can get like this like very high achieving, I'm gonna just take a huge chunk out, like the it's all in like the baby steps, the tiny steps. Like, okay, like when I started my own email community, I wrote once every 6 weeks. So for an email copywriter to do that, you're thinking like, what? You should be writing more often. But it's again, it's like I think that's another mistake. Is a lot of people say, oh, I should or I have to.
Mm-hmm.
I need to. And whenever those come up, I always ask why? Why do you feel
Yeah.
like you have to? Why do you feel like you should? Because there's
Mm-hmm.
something behind that. And we don't want to go from a place of like I should because that means you're not connected to your vision, your purpose. There's something that's off there. So I
Yeah.
started with 6 weeks because I said that's I was doing a lot of done for you email sequences at a time. I didn't have a lot of capacity to write for myself. So I said every
Right.
6 weeks. Then I got into that rhythm. I said, oh, I could do every 4 weeks. And then I was like, oh yeah, I could do every 2 weeks. And then, oh, I can write weekly now. This feels
Yeah.
good. And my services have evolved now where I'm doing a lot more copy coaching and teaching versus like the done for you sequences. So I'm able to focus a bit more on engaging my email community as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Joanne, we're so aligned on so many things. Like what you're saying about like your mindset going into it and the
Mhm.
should that you keep telling yourself and the need to and like you're dreading it. And I always say like the energy that you bring to the marketing task that you're doing, and this isn't even like a woo-woo thing at all. The energy that you bring to it is what you're going to get in return. So if you're dreading it and you keep pushing it to the bottom of your list and you're like, oh, I really got to do this thing because I should do it and someone told me
Mhm.
I needed to do it and I know I'm behind. Like, if you bring that energy to creating that email, like, that's not landing with your audience. They're not going to
Mm-mm.
care what you have to say. So
Yeah.
you need to work with somebody, Joanne, myself, somebody to get yourself in a better mindset about email marketing or whatever the task is in your business, whether it's marketing related or not, because I think when you show up with that negative energy, like it's
Mhm.
just going to be a battle. You're just trying to like push through. And especially when it comes to marketing, it's not going to land with your audience, I don't think.
Oh, yeah. And I feel like that's one of the most underestimated things in marketing, as you're saying, and email marketing and copywriting is no one talks about like the energy you bring into it because it makes all the difference when you come with the right energy in your writing. It could people can tell, they can sense it. I mean,
Yep.
it's just I feel like it's the same with my kids. The same thing. They can sense if I'm saying something, but I'm trying to say it in the most like polite way, but I'm just inside me so frustrated.
Yes.
they can sense it, even though I'm trying
Yeah,
my best to just say it as politely as possible.
right.
No, my 7-year-old's like, "Why are you mad? Why do you sound mad?" He
You're
can
like, I
sense
thought
it.
I was hiding it.
I know, I was like, "All right, there's no hiding." So let's go ahead and talk about this. So it's the same thing with the writing that you're doing in your marketing. It people can sense that.
Yeah. Which honestly brings us back to what we started this conversation on is vulnerability. So like
Mhm.
maybe for those people listening who haven't been great about emailing their list and haven't felt like they have something compelling to say or know what to say, maybe a first email back to your list to be like, you know what? I just haven't been feeling email marketing, but I want to do better and I want to stay in touch with you and like be vulnerable to people in that way. I've
Mhm.
seen some really great emails from business owners who have fallen into that, like, oh gosh, I haven't emailed my list in forever. Now what do I do? And I think it's I'm curious to hear your perspective since you're the email marketing expert, but like,
Mhm.
I think it's totally valid to send a letter to your list to be like, hey, here's what's been going on. Here's why I haven't like kept up with my emails. And you know what? Here's my promise to you. Here's what I'm going to do going forward.
Mhm.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, and I have fallen into that too. I have fallen off the cliff and I go, oh, I need to get back into my email community myself. And I
Hmm.
love what you said about that is, yeah, just be honest. Just be honest. And that I think because one of my values is authenticity and integrity, that's like two in one.
Yes.
What the expression is like, what's the expression? Kill one bird with two no, kill two
Two
birds
birds
with
with
one
one stone.
stone. And my husband has said, that's so violent. Why?
Yeah.
He's like, let's change it. Let's feed one bird with two berries. And I was like, I like that. So I don't even know why did I go into that? Anyways, so um yes, just being honest and with integrity, just say like, "Oh, hey, this is what's been going on. Moving forward, exactly like this is what you can expect," because people
Hmm.
will appreciate knowing what to expect, and so they can look forward to it. And if you'd rather not say like if that just you don't want to say that, that's fine too. If you
Yeah.
just want to get back right into just like emailing about whatever nurturing to your next event or something like that, you can do that too. You don't
Yeah.
have to. Again, it's like the have to. If you feel like you have to, then think about what
Hmm.
really feels good to you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm curious though, would you, because I have an opinion on this, but I'm curious to hear yours. Would you recommend if someone hasn't emailed their list in a while, they send out a salesy email pitching their services?
Oh, yes. No.
I'm like, I'm just gonna tee this up for her.
No. Oh gosh, no. No. This brings us into a good like the whole one of the common mistakes, like people will come to me saying, I'm launching my program, I'm launching a new service, I'm launching a program, a new package. And so they're thinking, okay, can you help me with a sales sequence? And
Hmm.
I will ask them, like, have you been nurturing your email community? And they said, no. So I said, so we're not going to start with a sales sequence
Yeah.
because you're going to get a lot more success with your sales sequence if you have done the nurturing, which is what you had mentioned is like
Yeah.
it takes nurturing and time to build that. It's building a relationship. That's how I see it.
Yes. Yeah. You don't
You're
ask someone to marry you on the first date.
right. Exactly. You gotta woo them a bit.
Yeah.
And so yeah, then what we do is okay, and this is what I love doing is I call it a pre-launch nurture sequence. So that's before the sales sequence, you have this nurture
Mhm.
sequence that is guiding your email community to a point where they're primed and ready to hear the sales sequence, which I like to
Oh, I love
imagine
that.
it's just it's an invitation.
Yeah. I love that.
So you're it's like when you invite if you invite a friend to your dinner party or Halloween party, since we're in the season, uh, you want to invite them, but you want to tell them like, oh, we're gonna have we're gonna have some games for the kids, or uh,
Hmm.
my husband's gonna make his butternut squash chili that he makes every year. It's gonna be so good. It's the nurturing, like, oh yeah, building up that
Build the
anticipation
excitement. Yeah.
too, building that excitement up. And then when you go to do the sales sequence, one, everyone's warmed up. Two, they understand what exactly their problem is, but what the root causes are. Because
Hmm.
sometimes they're just not really aware of what the problem really is, and they're not certain what the root causes are. And if you can really nurture and talk about that, then they're going to be ready to hear, oh, this is why I need you.
Right,
When
right,
you go to
right.
invite them in, they're
Yes.
ready to, they're more warmed up and primed and ready to hear that part.
Yes, I love that. And I haven't heard of that being done. I love the way that you phrase it. I always just think of it in terms of those like regular, if they're monthly, some sort of nurture email that's going out that's softer touch, that's not salesy. But I love that you work with your clients on building that kind of like pre-sequence, like tee them up for the sale. That's a good way to put it. And as you were talking, it's interesting because I was thinking about a client I remember working with, and this stuck with me. She wanted to sell a program that she was launching to her email list, but she hadn't been emailing them. And she knew, she's like, I don't feel like I've earned the right to sell them. And I loved that phrasing of like, I haven't earned the right, because I do think that that's true for email marketing. I tell my clients like 80/20, like 80% of the content you email should, and I say this for social. I mean, it's really for everything. Like 80% of the content should be value add and educational and helpful and solve problems for them. And then 20% can be that more salesy content.
Yeah, that's kind of what I teach my members in my group program is you want to have the value educational emails. And then this is where the copywriting piece comes in because that's what a lot of my clients come to me. They're like, I'm writing the educational emails. No one is clicking. No one's engaging. And I'm like, well, that's like the copywriting piece of it is like,
Right.
and I'm a former teacher, so I understand like you have it's same thing as that when I was a teacher. It's not just I'm not just teaching educational content. I need to, one, really understand where they are so I can say, okay, what's going to be relevant to them? What story is going to be relevant to them?
Yes.
I can hook them, compel them in, and then, okay, now I'm teaching and I'm doing the educational piece. But then
Hmm.
what happens after that? I don't want them to just stop there because then what is the knowledge?
Yes.
Nothing. It's nothing if you don't put it into action. So that's the copywriting piece. How do you get people to take action? Like how do I get my students to take action? But not just take action, like own the action to say, yes, this is what I want to do instead of me forcing them to like, you have to do this, you have to do that. It's like like psychologically they understand, oh, this is why I want to choose to do this because
Yeah.
you're going to get much better results as a teacher if they own their action. And it's the same thing as a business owner. You're going to get better results if people are have that agency to say,
Hmm.
I'm choosing this. This is not like manipulative psychology where you end up with buyer's remorse or like
Right.
you build up this
I got
frenetic
tricked into
urgency.
it.
Yeah, like yeah, you got duped into it and now I'm like, oh, this is not the thing that I actually needed or wanted. And so
Right.
like how do you get the educational piece, but how do you get people to take action? And that is the piece of how do you get them to own their action? That's the copywriting piece.
Yeah. That's awesome. Oh my gosh. I feel like we covered so much great information in this conversation today, Joanne. The time has really flown by. As we get ready to wrap up here, I'm just curious, is there any last, you shared so much great advice for listeners, but is there any last like piece of advice you want to leave people with?
Oh, let's see. What's coming up for me? Okay, this this is what's coming up for me is listen to your gut because there is so much noise out there.
Hmm.
So much online noise, especially for all of us in the service-based businesses. We're in this online world ecosphere. Um, what I have done is like I've taken all that noise and I still hear it, but it's just background noise to me. It's just like the white noise that I put on for my kids when they go to sleep. The ocean, constant ocean.
Yes.
We live in Colorado. We are not near the ocean. But every night I hear the ocean sound.
Love it.
It's the background noise, and that's what all this noise is to me now, is it's just background noise. And
Hmm.
the right noise will come forward that I need to hear because I'm gonna listen to my gut. And I think that's so important, especially with marketing, as he's saying, like what feels good to you, and email marketing, and sharing your stories and writing in a way that feels good. It's on your terms, that has that
Yeah.
integrity. Like listen to your gut. And I'm saying this personally because I did not listen to my gut last year, and that landed me in a very expensive mistake, which I have learned a lot from. But I think if we can really listen to our intuition and our gut, it's gonna help lead us where we need to go.
Yes. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. That's such great advice. And a very much a recurring theme on this show from my guests is
Mm,
advice of trusting your gut. So very on point.
mhm.
Very lastly, Joanne, how can people connect with you, learn more about you and the work that you're doing?
Yeah, you can visit my website. It's deskplantcreatives.com with a S at the end of creatives. Deskplantcreatives.com. There you can learn more about me. You can learn more about the Inbox to Impact program that I mentioned there. And I have some other services that help you with your email marketing. Again, please interact with me in my email community. That is where I'm most active. I love writing. Again, it's the fantastic world of email. So that's just my happy place. And so if you go to my website, you'll see a pop up with my free email storytelling guide. And it's something that it will not collect digital dust. It's like a reference guide that people will use and go back to. And I still reference for myself. I'm like, I need to go back and look at what kind of plug and play segue can I do. So if you sign up
Awesome.
for that, you'll join my email community. That's where I'm most active. And then if you'd like, on LinkedIn, you can find me, Joanne Homestead. Uh, and if you want to put Joanne Homestead copywriter, you can look for that there as well. I'm
Awesome.
the only Joanne Homestead on LinkedIn.
Very good. Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Joanne, again for coming on the show, sharing all of your insights and expertise. There are so many good nuggets for listeners to take away from this conversation. So thank you so much for your time.